Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general reading for the sign of Leo, Sun, Moon and Ascendant for the month of December. I hope you're well. We're using the Crow Tarot today, and I can barely believe I'm doing readings for December already. That seems like utter madness, but somewhat par for the course for 2020. It feels like the longest and shortest year of my life simultaneously. I don't know if you feel the same, but it's been very, very odd indeed. So let's have a look and see what's coming up for you this month. I'm glad to report I managed to do Aquarius's reading straight off the back. I've actually just done it, so I'm hoping yours goes as smoothly as theirs did, you know, as opposed to the last readings that I did. So can I have 3 cards for Leo, please? What about Leo, December? We've got the 7 of Wands in your recent past. Present energy for Leo, please. Oh, High Priestess. I like it. And one more card for what's coming towards Leo, please. Page of Swords. That's interesting. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the Knight of Pentacles. Now, that card is associated with Virgo, but it does speak about knowing the value of something for me. It speaks about proceeding with that thing that has value, kind of front and center in your mind moving forward. So let's have a look and see which deck wants to clarify. Look at those. I probably should have sorted that out before I even started the camera rolling. No? Yes. Okay. Cool. Let's give these a little wash in the smoke. And let's see what these cards mean. Could I have 2 clarifiers for that? Ooh. All right. 7 of Wands is clarified by the Devil and the Queen of Swords. Why is the High Priestess here, please, for Leo? We have the Moon. Ooh. The High Priestess. And the 3 of Wands. That's interesting. And Page of Swords. What's that about for Leo, please? 10 of Cups. And the 5 of Cups in reverse. Interesting. Right. Probably going to pull some more cards for this. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the Queen of Cups. That's the passive receptive side of water energy, emotions. You know, it's about being open to things of an emotional nature coming towards you. You know, it talks about how you receive it, but it also talks about how you show your care and your emotion to others around you. Right. So let's have a look at this. The first card that we've got in your recent past is the 7 of Wands. That is a defensive energy. Sometimes it's a protective energy, and there are, you know, nuanced differences between the two. If one is defensive, presumably it's because, you know, you feel like you're under attack in some sort of way. If you are protective, it's a little less reactive and more proactive. And this feels like it's the energy that you've been in, Leo. I noticed that there are a lot of, let's put it this way, there are all these ones down here, and there are all these crows, like flipping their biscuits and losing their shit there. And there's one crow that has got its foot on a red ace, because it will be an Ace of Wands there, with it being separated out. And it's kind of waiting. And there is this shit, was this not what I called your mid-month reading? Like, I've been calling them just looking for the lesson, because that's what the mid-month readings are for, but yours was different. Yours was about waiting, and so I didn't put looking for the lesson, I just put waiting. There's a biding your time thing going on here, which is very, very interesting, because it feels kind of cat-like. You know, part of the of what makes a cat a truly astonishing hunter is that it knows when to move and it knows when to stay still. And you're a big cat, Leo. That's what you are. And you know the time is not yet ripe to move, right? You have known this. It's literally actually saying what, what the mid-month reading said. But underneath it, we've got the Devil and the Queen of Swords. Now, this is interesting energy, because the Devil indicates all those things that are toxic. Yes, it can broadly, it talks about the fear that we have, you know, the fears that we are chained to in some way. And it looks like you've been through a process of not only identifying those, but kind of sifting them and working out which of them actually have any basis in reality. I think it's quite likely that you've discovered that a lot of them don't. Notice how this Queen of Swords has got her back to this devil, right? She's like, not even looking at it, but not in a bad way, not in a, all right, I'm not going to pay any attention to this thing. It's like you're moving beyond it now, Leo, and there's been a sense that you've sensed it, you've known it. Right? As this relates to what's going on here, let me pull another card because I've got a slight deviation that I can see. Tell me about the devil. Why is the devil here for? Where's the devil here for Leo? These two cards, what are they? The Eight of Swords and the Nine of Cups. That's intriguing. We've got the King of Cups at the bottom of the deck. There's a lot of very balanced emotional energy from you, and it feels like, it actually feels like that's the key to this. It's balance. Where everybody else is losing their shit and ultimately responding to their base fears, you're taking a much more balanced, much more even approach to this, right? This devil is clarified by the Eight of Swords. Other people are chained, other people are trapped, other people are restricted, principally by the content of their own mind, potentially, over anything else. Whereas you, Leo, are concerned with your emotional well-being. And that's exactly where your energy should be at the moment, right? Working on yourself is really, really important. I said that this kind of time of year is traditional for shadow work, and maybe you're doing some. But maybe you're just really concentrating on keeping yourself on a level, and I feel like that's probably what it is. Tell me more about this Queen of Swords. Yeah, we've got Emperor energy here. That's Aries, your sister fire sign. Oh. Shit, cards flying everywhere. It's the Five of Wands at the bottom of the deck, and what I just heard is that you're watching the world eat itself. Right? You're watching everything start to fall apart and destabilize. Like, the conflict now is strong, and it's interesting that there's this kind of, people are dividing themselves into camps. Like, it's no longer apparently acceptable for you to take a nuanced position, right, and give, you know, some credibility to something over this side, but also equal weight to something else over this side, right, and see things from a more elevated, actually intellectual perspective, right? That's where you are, Leo. The rest of the world is eating its own tail. The rest of the world is kind of separating themselves up into tribes, I guess. It does feel like a descent into tribalism. And I mean, these cards here, you're hanging back, you're waiting, you're strategizing, biding your time, working on yourself first and foremost, and you're watching everything that was established, everything that was relied upon by the world up until this year, just end. You know, with no pomp or ceremony, things just ending, and the world is eating its own tail. You are keeping your attention inwards, keeping yourself balanced. I love the High Priestess in this deck. Like, she also speaks about balance. Two's balanced, but it's internal too. Like, it doesn't strike me that at any point the Queen of Swords would have her attention pulled by something that wasn't worthy of it. And that feels like a very important message here now to you too, Leo. Like, you know where your attention's got to be. And where your attention's got to be is right here inside you. It's passive waiting. But with an element of something else. And it segues neatly into the next card, because that is, again, the High Priestess, and that's in your current energy. Now, like I said, it's passive. There's no activity, there's no action at all implied by the High Priestess. She sits back, she waits, she knows all the things. And interestingly, in the Crow Tarot, which is different to every other depiction of the High Priestess or any one of the other 100 and odd decks that I've got, she is depicted as holding all of the symbols of the elements too, right? Normally that's the purview of the magician, but we see her here with the sword, with the wand, with the cup, and with the pentacle. And then she's here perched on this moon. And the moon indicates intuition, right? That's what it's all about. It's some sort of higher wisdom. And it could be that maybe some of you are channeling messages at the moment, but the main message of this card is that it's not time to move yet. You know it's not time to move yet. You just sort of hang in fire, waiting for the signal, and you know, almost like the bat signal is just going to go up at some point, and all the Leos in the world are just going to go, it's time, assemble, here it is. But it's something that's very particular to you. Your ability to be able to sit back and wait for the right time to strike. And I think it's particular to the task that is at hand for you at the moment, Leo, because what's going on with Aquarius at the moment is that they are planting seeds of something. Right? There's something going on with them there, and they're doing work now that will pay dividends later. Right? That came through loud and clear. It doesn't feel to me like you necessarily have to do anything at the moment. It is all about this absolutely incisive ability that Leos have to be able to judge when is the right time to move. And you know that it's not. This card is underpinned by the moon and the Three of Wands, and that's interesting too, because the Three of Wands for me is a card about doing. It's doing in the here and now. It's a very present energy card. If the Two of Wands is where you approach a crossroads, and in your mind you walk down each road and you work out the consequences of not only where you will end up, but what will happen along the way, and then you make a decision about which way you're going. The Three is about picking that path. Now, this dude has done his Two of Wands phase, and he's now at the Three of Wands, but he is waiting. Like, he's got his back to us, he's watching the horizon, he's waiting for the sign. But it's come up with the moon. So rather than you watching the horizon and expecting something, some sort of big fucking explosion or something like that, like some sort of catalyzing outward event, it feels to me like it's the moon. You're going to know inside, you're going to know inside when it is time for you to do what it is that you need to do. Tell me about the moon, please. Oh. Yeah. Ooh. Leo. We've got strength and justice. I've literally come out in goosebumps all over, right? You are probably intuitive to a level that you've never experienced before at the moment. You just know stuff. And I'm not, and it actually could be anything as funny as, knowing you're about to walk around a corner and bump into somebody that you know, or it could be something so much bigger than that. It's maybe the synchronicities are really strong at the moment. Maybe things keep happening and it's like, oh, is that a coincidence? No, coincidence isn't a thing. It doesn't exist. That's my absolute definitive word on the matter, at least from my perspective. I do not believe that it exists. If something happens in front of you and there is something that it sparks off in your head, then you were supposed to see that, you were supposed to experience that, and that spark was supposed to happen. But strength and justice together, like, this is very, very powerful stuff, Leo. Don't underestimate what's going on here. And I don't sense any kind of frustration with you, with the waiting at the moment. It's not like you're kind of pacing around and going, oh, is it now? Is it now? Is it now? It's not like that. It's that endless patient ability that the lion or, the cat or anything has to hold still at the very important point that it holds still, right? You don't want to spook anything. You don't want to give away your position before it's time. Tell me about this Three of Wands. I mean, Yay, Three of Wands. Anything else for the Three of Wands, please? Yeah, like, so check this out. Look at that dude there. He's peering behind a rock. Like, this is your energy at the moment, right? Sitting, waiting, patient, still. Peering out? No. Like, don't... And I don't think that this is true, actually. I don't think any of you are frustrated. I don't think any of you feel like you are not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And it could well be that to other people, it looks like you are essentially failing to act in some way. But it's because they don't understand. It's because they don't get it. They're not cognizant of the process that is occurring here at the moment. The Ace of Swords came out directly after that. You will know when it is time. You know that you will know when it is time. Now, we've got this Page of Swords in your future energy for December, right? This is the general energy that's coming around. And there is some movement here, but it's mental expansion is how it feels to me. I'm just going to shut this window because there's some ratty little dog outside shouting. Mental expansion, right? It's about thoughts taking flight. It's about your mind taking flight in some way. And the two cards that have come out underneath it are the Ten of Cups and the Five of Cups in reverse, which I love. The Five of Cups is an all-consuming energy of being stuck in something, right? Like all five energy is very, very uncomfortable, and it's like being completely enshrouded with a notion of loss. This has been reversed, and to an inherently unstable energy, which is what all five energy is, right? To reverse it, in my opinion, is the most stabilizing thing that you can do to that energy, because it's fucking paired up with the Ten of Cups. Let's try and get some more, I want to use a different deck. Let's get some more insight into what this actually is, because I don't feel like it's you necessarily changing your mind about anything, Leo. It doesn't feel like you realise that you've got something wrong. It feels like you're expanding your thinking over something. Tell me about this Page of Swords, please. Whoa, shit. We've got the Six of Wands. Victorious. What am I moving away from? There's the Five of Cups again. We've got the Eight of Cups and the Five of Cups, right? Moving away from any energy of loss. Like, it's funny, but looking at all of these cards, like the kind of sideways interpretation of this as I'm looking at it is, it actually feels like what you're wrapping your head around is what you are prepared to lose to win, which seems like an odd thing, because it doesn't really feel like a loss. It feels like a sharpening up of priorities and understanding as to what is important. And maybe some of you are kind of looking at your life and you're looking at your house and you're like, I've accumulated crap for years. You know, do I actually need any of this stuff? And like, probably not. Which is weird, because I actually cleared out a load of shit that I've been clinging on to for years for no apparent reason whatsoever. I don't know, maybe in the hope that at some point it would come in useful or something like that. And I'm actually like, this is bullshit. I don't need this for the world moving forward, so I'm just fucking clear it out. And I went to the tip of the weekend and just disposed of loads of things. But it seems like what encapsulated for you at some point as the notion of home, right, with this Four of Wands, is under review, right? It's a reprioritization of things, and there are going to be some things that you leave behind here, and I think it feels like things that you thought had some sort of sentimental value. So there can be things, but there can also be people as well. Now, there have been people peeling off from Leo all year, but that's fine. You know, that in itself was a process of refinement of your social group. And I think I called one of your videos, You Can't Take Everybody With You, and that holds true now. We're used to being kind of like the hub of things in the middle of all of our social situations. So, you know, the fucking quintessential Leo stuff. Like, even me, I am an introverted Leo, but in amongst a group of people that I am comfortable with, I will naturally dominate the conversation, because that's what I do, right? Not out of any arrogance or anything like that. It's just like, I'm hella entertaining you, right? And I feel like that's true for you. And so it's possible that there was a tinge of sadness to the fact that these people started pulling away from you a little bit. But I feel like it wasn't as bad as it could have been, because you understood that these people weren't coming, right? They couldn't all come with you, and that's fine. But it feels like thinning out your emotional space, the way in which your emotions are spread between a number of people, some of whom actually don't really deserve to be there at all, combined with a real solid knowledge of who you are, right, and a real deepening of an understanding of who you are and what you're here for this year, particularly Leo, is allowing you, will allow you to create something new, something better, something much more victorious. We've got the Ace of Cups down here at the bottom of the deck, which is, you know, all about new love, but also, you know, renewal of love sometimes. And it can absolutely be for yourself as much as for other people or circumstances or situations. It feels like you've been clearing the decks, ready for something which has a collective aspect to it, with the Ten of Cups. Tell me about the Ten of Cups, please. Oh. Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, you're standing on your own a little bit more now, Leo, than you ever have done before. And if this had happened a while ago, you might have looked at it and gone, well, is there something wrong with me here? Yeah, well, these people are peeling away from me. You know, maybe this is something negative in me, but it's not that at all. There's a certain amount of distancing that's been required. And funnily enough, this is really, really interesting. Right? Aquarius is your opposite sign in the zodiac, right? So you are connected in that way. What's happened to Aquarius is entirely different. It's entirely opposite, in fact, to you. They have discovered their connection, and they're bringing their view from up there to down here, and they have done some work on themselves emotionally, and it's allowed them to connect to people on a one-to-one basis right in front of them. With you, it feels like it's kind of pulling away from those one-to-one relationships. The ones that are important still remain, but the ones that were just kind of, well, padding, for the want of a better word, right, they're gone. And it's like your connection to something much bigger, whether that's a duty or a purpose or, you know, the collective, whatever it is now more important. But for whatever reason, both of you are kind of been put to the side in November's readings. Like, you two stand alone here to do things, or not do things, as the case may be. Tell me that. Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups, please. Yeah. Seven of Cups in reverse. And what was that? Oh, and the Ace of Wands that's come down here as well. Ooh, and Strength at the bottom of the deck. Interesting. So, there you are, Leo, facing down cosmological forces, as is your fucking, you know, purpose in this life. But where you were confused, where you were spread, where everything was kind of like, it feels like it's all honing down into a point for you, that singular point of focus. You know, you try and distract a cat from something, you can't do it, right? At this point in time, you are just like there, waiting, yeah, for something new. This is really interesting. If this has resonated with you at all, there is an extended, the link will be at the top of the description box. So feel free to come and join me over there. I'm going to kind of pull this apart a little bit more. The future stuff, I think that we've got the recent past, and the present is all understandable, completely understandable actually. The future stuff, I want to pull this apart a little bit more and see what's going on there, because it's totally fascinating to me. So if you want to do that, feel free. If not, no shade. Know that I love you all very much, and I will see you for the December mid-months, which will be the last, maybe be the last readings of the year. I mentioned this in another video recently, I might do kind of like a 6-month overview for the signs for 2021, I think. I kind of idly mentioned it somewhere, and there were a few people in the comments who said that they thought that that would be a good idea, so I might do those, and they may come out after the mid-months, but just, keep an eye on it, see. Know that I love you all very much, and I will see you very soon.